Hey, it's Brooke.
Hey, it's Ashley.
And this is Take It To Go, the podcast where two college girls try and figure out their lives over dinner.
Sort of. In this podcast, we're going to be food reviewing chain restaurants.
Because we're in college and that's all our budget allows.
Right, and we're also going to be addressing the issues we care about.
And hopefully you might care about them too.
Oh, and it's for a grade.
Shout out Dr. Fick.
Alright, so last episode, if you guys missed that, we spilled some tea at the B's, and that was a really fun episode. We were talking about college and just what it's like being a college student, so you can click on our YouTube channel and click on our first episode if you're interested in hearing that. This week, just like we promised, we're going to be getting silly at Chili's. So we picked out 5 menu items that we thought looked delicious and we were very intrigued about. So we're going to be trying the Southwestern egg rolls, the Big Mouth Bites, which is basically just cheeseburger sliders with a fancy name, fried mozzarella sticks, chicken bacon ranch quesadillas, and the claim to fame, the baby back barbecue ribs.
They're back, baby, back, baby, back.
Oh, absolutely.
And today, while we grub, we're going to be talking about relationships. Okay, so we're just going to dive right into it. We're going to start off with the Southwestern egg rolls. I don't even know what's in these, so I'm excited.
I'm not going to lie, I have had these before, but it was like a while ago, and I don't really remember what they taste like, but I do have to say they look very different than last time, because they used to be, I guess, sliced, cut in half.
Right?
Yeah, they're not sliced. They look like if you got, like, egg rolls from a takeout. They're just, like, whole.
Let's break them open and see what we're dealing with on the inside.
Ooh, it's, like, green.
Okay.
Looks like there's some beans.
Yeah, there's beans. I see corn.
And it came with a sauce, and I'm assuming it's, like, a ranch base. But I think it's like an avocado ranch because it's green.
We'll give it a shot.
But yeah, so I'm going to let's take a bite. We haven't eaten all day, so we're very excited.
I'm going to try without the sauce first.
I think this is banging.
These are good.
I think this is really good.
Interesting.
It's got a really distinct flavor. And I feel like it's herbaceous almost. Like
that's an interesting word.
I feel like there's a lot of
strong word choice.
Yes, I think there's a lot of spices in this. I don't know if it's cilantro or what, but there's like a strong, like herby aftertaste. I think you're right.
There's also like a lot of good textures in it. I'm a big texture person when I eat, so when you bite into it and there's like, it's not like just mushy on the inside, which I appreciate.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard that crisp, but it was definitely, it was crunchy. We had some ASMR content there.
Yeah, comment below if you want the ASMR to stay in the videos.
Yeah, I want to try it with the ranch.
Okay.
I didn't try the sauce.
I also did not try the sauce.
But I feel like it's really good.
I'll do the other side, obviously. Naturally.
Oh, yeah. It's really good with the ranch. This is so good. Is there chicken in here? I feel like there's like a meat or something.
It looks like it.
I think there's chicken in here. And peppers.
I can't tell if it's chicken or if it's like beef.
I don't care. It's really good.
Delicious.
So, if we're going to talk about relationships and friendships, I think we should just dive right into it with the question, the age-old question. Do you believe in soulmates?
I do believe in soulmates, but I don't think it necessarily has to be, like, a romantic soulmate. Like, and I don't know if I believe in, like, there being one perfect person for you exactly, but I do believe in soulmates in the sense of, like, I think your friends can be your soulmates. I think I think relationships can be soulmates, but I feel like too often it's, like, this person is my soulmate, and it's like, do you really believe that? Like, that person in particular, like, just because it's, like, a relationship you're in?
No, I totally agree with you. Yeah. I definitely think, like, I've had some friends who it's like, I've known you in a past life. You know what I mean? Like, I've just met people, and it's like, sometimes you just meet people, and it doesn't even have to be, like, a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like we always default to, like, a romantic soulmate, but I think platonic, why'd I say it like that? I think platonic soulmates are very real, and I think that it's almost like an underrated thing. I feel like we need to talk about that more.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. It's funny because I think you can have, like I said, you can have a platonic soulmate, but I also do believe in romantic soulmates. Yeah. I feel like everybody has both.
Like, I don't really know. Like I said, I think I feel so strongly about like friend soulmates that, like, I don't not believe in romantic soulmates, but like I said, I don't know how, like, sold I am that there's, like, one perfect person for you in a relationship. Because I feel like relationships are a lot of, like, give and take.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, how perfect can a person be?
That's true, but I also, here's another, like, theory, and I did not come up with this.
Pick my brain.
I saw this on Instagram, and it was, like, you have a different romantic soulmate. You have, like, 3 or something. I don't know if there was a specific number, but that's just an example. Let's say 3. You have, like, 3 romantic soulmates, and it depends on how you develop yourself. Like, how much you evolve, that depends who you end up with.
Interesting.
So if you want to get your, like, highest spiritual level soulmate, you know what I mean? Like, the most spiritually fulfilling soulmate or whatever, you have to, like, work on yourself and evolve.
God, that's
Isn't that,
that's
like,
intimidating.
whoa, I know, isn't that crazy? But I saw that, and I was like, you know, that's interesting. It's an interesting thought, like, and it makes sense. Like, if you're not working on yourself, do you really think you're going to attract the
who
love
you're supposed to be with?
You?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's existential crisis moment, but wow.
Kind of going off of that, what about love at first sight? What's your deal with that? This is something, I don't know. I don't think so.
Can we get into an anecdote? Can I tell a story?
Your anecdotes scare me, but sure.
Okay, I'm gonna tell a little story. So, there was this guy, not too long ago. He like met me, and we met, at a party. We literally met at a party, and he was telling me from the second, like, he was telling my friends that night when he met me, like, how he's like, oh, I really like Ashley, and he kept saying how much he liked me, and he didn't really know me that well. It was within the first few times we met each other, and he was saying how much he liked me, and that when he first saw me, he was like, I knew you were the one that I, like, wanted to be with. But to me, that came across, because, like I said, I was at a party, okay? I was not on, like, you know, my 100% best self behavior. I wasn't being my most spiritually evolved. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, your most healed self. That was not you. She was not at that party.
That wasn't her.
She was not found that night.
But I'm, like, saying, that to me raises the question. It's like, did you like me for me? Was it a love at first sight type of deal? Or is it just you were casting the role of girlfriend in your life? Yeah. And I happened to roll along, and it's like, are you just desperate? Like, was I just there?
Yeah, it's like the question, like, was he seeking you out, or was he seeking someone out, and it happened to be you?
What do you think about, like, love at first sight?
I think it depends on, like, what makes you look at me and be like, that's the person I want to be with. True. It's like, is it because, like, you're attracted to me? Is it because, like, you see how I act and it's, like, intriguing? Like, I feel like I can buy it a little more if, like, you're attracted to me because, like, you can tell how I, like, carry myself and things like that, and it's, like, interest? I feel it, but I feel like interest at first sight is more like it, rather than, like, love at first sight. But I don't know, because you do hear the stories of, like, I saw her, and then we've been married for 15 years and whatever, and it's like, people just, like, look at someone and know.
Yeah.
And I guess that can happen, but, like, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of factors that play into it.
Well, like I said, I think if it were different circumstances when I met this guy, I would be less skeptical. You know what I mean? Yeah. I feel like if I wasn't at a party and it wasn't like we didn't really talk that much that night, it's like you were just kind of looking at me, like, were you just desperate? Did you just want a girlfriend? Or did you just, like, were you just physically attracted? Like, yeah, it's one thing to be, like, physically attracted to somebody, that's fine, but it's like, how do you know you really like me as a person if you just saw me at a party? So I think if I met you, I don't know, if I met a guy, if it was a class or something, and we were having some sort of discussion, and he liked what I was saying, and he's like, I knew, like, you were the one for me, that would totally change the game, in my opinion. Yeah. Also, like, if you really think that we're, like, soulmates, and, like, it was love at first sight, please don't, like, lead with that. Like, you, like, that's a strong start to any relationship of, like, I saw you, and I thought you were the one. I think that's something you bank until maybe we're engaged. Or at least in a pretty serious relationship, because that would put me off. I think that's a little... Yes, I think it's off-putting too.
Yeah, I don't like when people come on, like, too strong. Like, I like when people show interest, but if you're like, you're my soulmate, and, like, we just met, I'm like, ooh, like...
Yeah, I think it's natural, though, to like people who are more of a challenge. So I think when anyone comes across as just, like, spineless almost, I hate to use that word, but when somebody comes across as just, like, they're willing to it's one thing to be flexible, but if they're just, like, willing to drop anything, do anything all the time from the get-go, and maybe this is me being toxic, I tend to like people who are a little bit more of a challenge. Like, they're a little, like, they have their own life. I know that they're doing their own things. They're not constantly available for me. Like, there's some mystery there.
Yeah.
I tend to be more drawn to that. It's like when a guy comes on too strong for me, I am off-put. Yeah,
you have to have, like, your own thing going on. Like, you pursuing me can't be, like, what your life revolves around.
That's true.
And I don't know. I've been told sometimes the people I attract are a little needy.
How so? Oh my god, elaborate.
Well, I think because I have a very, like, dominant personality. I'm like a personality pick. Just because... And I've always...
Girl, you're a blast.
I've always been like that. So I think people kind of gravitate towards that. But I think it does tend to be, like more quiet people because there's, like, something...
You're like an alpha.
Yeah. I don't want to say there's something I have that they don't.
No, I think it's...
But I'm not as reserved.
I don't think there's anything wrong with... No, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. It's like it's nothing wrong with being quiet.
Yeah.
But you were just different.
Yes.
So do you think, like, opposites attract?
Oh...
I don't. I'm gonna say that.
I don't know if opposites attract, but I also don't think we can be too similar.
That's what I said. I think complementary attracts.
Yes. Like, there has to be certain elements and things that you have that I don't. Which is not, like, groundbreaking or profound shit, like, in a relationship. Like, everyone knows that it's, like, you have to, like you said, complement each other and, like, work well. But I feel like opposites can attract. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like, if there's some sort of common ground, like, and you're just, like, opposite, like, personality-wise, sometimes I think that can be good. But
I agree.
Also, I think that can lead to, like, you...
Contention?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe some resentment.
Well, I definitely think... I tend to go for people who are more different than I am, only because I was in a relationship with a guy who, on paper, we were, like, the same. We went to the same college, we were in the same major... We lived in the same town. We had, like, the same interests with, like, art and music and whatever. On paper, you would think it would be phenomenal, but that was actually it was, like, some of our biggest points of contention. And we would constantly clash about it.
Because you have nothing to learn from someone who's exactly like you.
It's true.
That's, like, almost, like, the fun part of a relationship is, like, having someone different that can, like, kind of teach you and show you new things. So it's, like, if we already have everything in common, then it's, like...
Yeah, it's like,
where's the fun?
I don't
want
to date a carbon copy of myself.
Oh, God, no.
Like, I don't want to date myself. I'm sorry.
I could not put up with myself.
Exactly.
I don't know how people have put up with me.
I know. I'm like, I don't want to date myself. But, so as you can see, I finished myself mustard egg roll.
You did finish your egg roll.
I was grumping. It was really good.
We have a lot of food.
We do. So do you think we should move on to the next thing?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, so for our next menu item, we have the Big Mouth Bites.
Yum! That's a great name.
Which is embarrassing to say out loud.
It gets points for the name.
I would probably point to it on a menu. I don't think I'd want to say that. I don't know if
I feel like that is a marketing tactic. I feel like Big Mouth Bites, like, you're gonna be like, what is that? And you're gonna look.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna be like, oh, it's cheeseburger sliders. I'm getting those.
Yeah, it's like, you didn't have to do all that. You could have just called it a slider.
True. It's like, I'm gonna order cheeseburger sliders anyway, regardless of the name.
But they're pretty much just cheeseburgers with fried onions and ranch.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
I am going to put ketchup on it, and it's funny, because we literally talked about this in Liz's episode, how we don't like ketchup. I said I only like ketchup very specifically on certain things. Oh, that was a nice noise. That was the ketchup bottle.
Oh, ASMR.
ASMR. I like ketchup on, like, cheeseburgers, but that's, like, and with steak fries, and that's pretty much it. So, but I will eat ketchup on this. So I'm excited. It looks like a Hawaiian roll.
It does. It looks good. The bread looks good. It's soft. I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
And they're big.
They're like a good size.
This is a big mouth bite.
It is really a big mouth bite. Okay, it's nice and thick.
Oh, is there bacon on it too? I think there's bacon. Yum.
This is so good. So juicy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like that word, but it is so juicy.
Yeah. I didn't expect them to hold up that well. Like,
especially because we drove home with them in the car.
Yeah, we do this all via takeout. Also, Chili's does have alcohol to go. We did not
intrigued.
Yeah, we did not
We're 21, by the way.
Yes, this is legal. But if you want a part 2 of us reviewing the gallon margaritas at
let
Chili's,
us know in the comments.
please let us know.
Let us know, because we'll do it. We'll take one for the team. Don't worry.
Yeah, just tell us when.
Oh, absolutely. No, this is like really good. I like the bread. Like I said, it's like the texture of a Hawaiian roll, but it's not the sweetness. Mm-hmm. So it's like a buttery roll, juicy patty. It's like no pink in it, which is fine. Like I don't know how you like your burgers. I like medium, like medium. Yeah. So there's like little to no pink in that, so I'm fine with that cook. I don't even think they asked how you wanted it cooked.
No, I think they just
it's
come
fine.
out
I don't
come.
care. Yeah, that's fine. It's good.
I wish the cheese were a little more melted.
Yeah, but that could also be our doing. We're driving with it.
Yeah, maybe.
So that might not have been them.
Chili's don't take that personally. I'll take it back. I'll rescind my statement. These are really good. I've gone in for second and third bites. I'm into this. Me too. And I also
like the onions.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I like the texture of the onions. Like, it's a little crisp. It adds something to it.
It's different because I feel like on burgers, onions usually come raw.
Yeah.
Like, they'll just slice an onion and put it on the burger. I feel like they don't fry them and chop. They're, like, diced.
Yeah.
Into, like tiny pieces and, like, fried up.
Yeah, almost like the onions on a Big Mac.
Yeah, like on a Big Mac or... Even, and it's like cooked similar to how you'd put it on a cheesesteak.
Yeah.
I like that. I think it's like nice and caramelized. Very good.
Yeah, 10 out of 10. Big mouth bites.
We like it.
Good looks.
Yeah.
Okay, so next on our list of questions.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a type?
I absolutely have a type.
What's your type?
No, it's a type that doesn't work for me historically.
Okay. Oh, boy.
I always tend to go for, like, I don't do it on purpose. Like, I'm not purposely gonna... be like, I only date people who blank. You know, I'm just not like that. Or people who look like whatever. But I do tend to gravitate just naturally towards, like, darker features. Mm-hmm. Like, dark hair, dark eyes, darker complexion. Like, that's just tends to be, like, what I go for. Mm-hmm. I tend to go for, like, sporty people. And you know what? They always say, like, you appreciate in other people what you want or what you don't have. And this is like, I guess, deep.
Sore spot?
I guess, yeah, because I'm so wildly uncoordinated. Like, I have never been athletic. I was never the cool kid in school, because when I went to school in grade school and high school, it was like the sports kids were the cool kids. And that was just, like, not me.
Yeah.
So I've always been, like, into sporty guys.
Okay.
And I've just always gone for kind of like the jock, which is interesting. And does this have to do with my fixation of High School Musical as a child? With, like, is this a Troy and Gabriella moment? I don't know. But that's just, like, my type.
Well, wasn't it so rattling to be, like, 6 years old and see Corbin Bleu's armpit hair?
Oh my god.
That's like a universal experience, I feel like. Ask
I
any
haven't
girl.
known peace since.
I know.
I haven't known peace since
that was
moment.
earth-shattering. That was
really
earth-shattering. That rattled me. I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, but I mean, it's funny though, because my one ex-boyfriend, who I guess was like my most serious relationship, he was the dead opposite. He actually referred to himself as like my taste breaker, because he was so different.
Whoa.
I know. He's like, he's like, I'm like your taste breaker. Like, you've never dated a guy like me before. And I'm like, you're not wrong. Like, he was very artistic and like into, but like I said, we were too similar, and I don't think it worked.
Yeah.
So I mean, for me, I guess, like we said earlier, complementary opposites attract more than alike.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my type. But what about you?
I feel like appearance-wise, I don't have a type. And
that's fair.
I feel like across the board, like, if I'm attracted to you, then, like, it doesn't really matter. Mm-hmm. Personality-wise, something I've noticed is that I tend to go for, like, nerdier guys, which, if I tell people that and I'm, like, interested in them, sometimes they'll get, like, a little insulted, but I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, it's not. I think nerdy cute.
Yeah,
it's
I
totally
do, like, nerdier interests, like... Like, I think I usually go for guys who are, like, into, like, video games and, like, nerdy stuff, like comic books. I don't know why. I don't know what about that does it for me.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, and like I said, like, I've dated guys who have, like, I'm not strict, you know what I mean? I'm not, like, I only date guys who play lacrosse. Like, that's not me.
Yeah.
At all. But I just tend to naturally, if I overlook the trends of my dating history, like, my life, it's usually... 9 times out of 10 a sporty guy. Like, that's just how it falls.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever gone for a sporty guy.
They're like intimidating. They're kind of
historically,
annoying.
I've gone for theater guys.
That's true.
So.
And I was in theater in high school, so it's funny. I know you were like involved with theater too, but I was
not
like,
in a bad way, guys.
No, not in a bad way. No, we're theater people. Okay, so we're not like insulting.
We're not like the weird theater people.
They're a type. No, the theater people.
There's a type.
There's a you know what we're talking about. They're the ones who.
We're not that.
Yeah,
we're not singing in Denny's.
We're not. No, yes, we're not that. But also, I was never like into the guys who I did shows with.
I think I like guys that like can play music or like can sing.
Yeah,
that's like very attractive to me. And
well, can you play music or sing?
No.
Well, see, that's what it is. Maybe it's like I said, I was never sporty, so I like sporty guys. Maybe you always wished you were musically inclined.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, and I've noticed that about me like recently, like now that I'm single and back on the scene. Line up, suitors.
Period. Line up in the comments if you want to go on a date with Brooke.
It's like that episode of iCarly where like she needs a date for the dance and people have to like speed date with her. I'm sure it'll have that big of a turnout.
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding? We have like a million fans.
I listened to About You Now by Miranda Cosgrove this morning, actually.
I love that song.
What an underrated
that is
jam.
a great song.
We've forgotten about that.
That's
We as a society.
That is. Do you know she remade that song that wasn't her song?
Yes, I saw that TikTok too.
Yeah, I didn't see it on TikTok.
Oh, I saw it on TikTok.
Heard that. I actually don't have TikTok. Haha, fun fact about me. I'm a weirdo. But I actually heard, I was listening to like a 2000s playlist or like a late 90s playlist or something, and then that song was on there, and I was like, oh my god, she like stole that song. It was like on Spotify.
Such a banger. Such a banger. Miranda Cosgrove put out nothing but bangers.
She's an unproblematic
Miranda
child
Cosgrove,
star queen.
If you're listening,
will you be a friend of the pod?
Yeah, be a friend of the pod.
We love you.
Get on here.
We love you, Miranda Cosgrove.
Sing a song with us, maybe?
Maybe sing us About You Now.
Yeah, and she went to college. Like, she banked her iCarly money,
her.
and like,
and good for her.
She did the damn
Absolutely.
thing. That's the way to do it, I think.
How did we get talking about Miranda Cosgrove? What happened?
Oh boy, I don't
what
even
happened
know.
in our train of thought that we ended up on iCarly? Oh, you said you're single and you're on the scene. Got it. Okay, we just needed a second.
Yeah, we find our way back.
We regroup eventually.
We're good at this podcast thing. But yeah, I think I go, like, something I've noticed is that, like, I've been more attracted to guys that are, like have some sort of musical ability. But then it's like, then you get into guys who are in bands, and like, no offense, but like, if you're in a band, like, I'm a full-time job. So.
You're like, you can't do the on the road thing and then be
Oh,
away.
God, no.
Do you think you have like trust issues?
Whoa, big
big
question.
Oh no, that's a big question. My burger's making me bold.
I don't think it's like comes from trust issues. I just think that it's like you can't really like put the time in with someone because they would be like on the road so much. Like, I think I matched with a guy on Bumble who like does shows in Philly, and I was like,
you were like, no.
I was into it, but then I like thought about it, and I was like
the logistics of it.
Yeah, I'm like, you're gonna be out all the time,
and you're
like,
gonna be a teacher, so you're gonna be
like
working
opposite
all day,
schedules.
opposite schedule. Yeah,
yeah. So that's something I've noticed about myself, and I'm trying to correct.
See, that's funny. Is like I like alone time. Like I'm not into super needy and clingy. That might actually put me onto a relationship more a little bit because I'm so busy myself, and I know you are too. But I like to kind of have our separate schedules, like, but. That's just how I am. I don't know. Like, I'm like, I don't need to see you every day.
Yeah, and I think, like, realistically, like, you have your own stuff going on, like, why, like, like, I just don't think it, like, ever, like, realistically works out to, like, see someone every day unless you're, like, married to them or live with them.
And that's the thing, too, is, like, we were talking about this earlier before we started filming, but we were kind of talking about how it's so different now. Like, people aren't really getting married right out of college or high school anymore.
Thank God.
Thank God. You know, where people are like, maybe we should find ourselves, and maybe we should do our own things in our own lives before we start binding ourselves legally to other people.
Yeah, also, your brain doesn't stop developing until you're 25.
It's
so
true, yeah.
I don't want to make any big decisions. No marriages, no babies before I'm 25.
I know, that is crazy.
Hold me to that, listeners. Hold me to it.
They're gonna, don't worry, cancel culture, it will hold you accountable for that. They'll be like, Brooke said this one time in a podcast.
Yeah,
if
I get married at 24... Hold your stone. Hold your stones.
We're gonna get canceled. You're gonna destroy the podcast.
People are gonna crash my wedding. Red paint on my wedding dress.
Well, because that's gonna ruin their life. Because obviously they care so much about
me getting married.
Are you kidding?
Yeah. And my New Year's Eve wedding.
Oh my god.
Listeners, I want a New Year's Eve wedding so bad.
I agree.
That is my dream.
That's a beautiful time of the year.
Already called it.
Really,
sorry.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I like Christmas time and
everything's already, the churches are already decorated.
Yeah.
My mom is requesting that I get married in a church. So suitors, if that is a deal breaker, I'm sorry. That's all I have to say about that.
That's an interesting, let's just regroup for a second, because that's actually an interesting bridge into our next topic. Let's finish talking about these big mouth bites, okay? And then we're going to move on to our next food item, and our next topic, we're going to talk about deal breakers.
Ooh.
So, what did you think about these cheeseburger sliders? What do you think?
They did it for me. I thought they were good.
They did it for me, too. I'm not gonna lie.
I was interested because I was like, onions and ranch on a burger.
Odd.
Well, onions or whatever, but ranch on a burger. I was like...
See, I like ranch on everything. Did we have this conversation last episode?
We did.
I think we did.
I don't hate ranch, but I wasn't expecting to like it on a burger. But I just thought it
on
worked.
Everything. I told you. You're joining the other side.
I'm being converted into a ranch enjoyer, especially because I don't really like condiments. So if I do like a condiment, it's kind of a big deal.
Well, ranch is amazing, but hello.
Yeah, but I thought the rolls were really good. The burger, like you said, it was juicy. The cheese needed a little more melting.
I agree, but
that might be a big
that
fat
might not
me
be
problem.
us. That might be, might be Chili's, might not be. We're not blaming you, Chili's, but
we love you, Chili's.
We do love you. We do love you. But I definitely would order these again.
Oh yeah,
these were excellent. Excellent.
Perfect. No
complaint. This is just excellent food. Fine dining.
We are not food critics. We never claimed to be food critics. Also, we have not eaten today, so
That's
true. This is our
really
first
hungry.
meal. Recording at 4:19, having our first meal.
We probably sound like we're coming more alive by the end.
Yeah, we're being revived.
We're like malnourished.
It's probably good that we didn't get the alcohol to go.
Oh my god, we would have been gone by like one
We would have
sip.
been a little too silly at Chili's.
We would have been a lot too silly at Chili's. Also, like we said, this is for a grade. Hi, Dr. Fick. You're welcome. We did not order the gallon margarita.
Not yet.
Not yet, anyway.
We'll have you on that episode for when we...
Friend of the pod.
Yeah, you'll be our special guest.
All right, let's move on to our next food. Okay, so now we have these fried mozzarella sticks, and I'm not even going to call them sticks. I'm going to call them planks. Bricks, because they are humongous, guys.
Stones are hefty.
When I tell you, these are like the size of a video game controller.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
They're huge. They came with 2, right? And they are just like these big blocks of just fried cheese, which I'm not complaining about.
Yeah, and one thing about me is, like, I'm a mozzarella stick girly, so, like, I have, like, a ranking in my head of where I like my mozzarella sticks from, so we'll see where this ranks.
I think these look really, they look like straight fire. They look really good. I'm interested to see how they compare to the Cheetos cheese bites from last episode. Tune in.
That is traumatizing.
Tune in if you're curious.
If you want to hear me be traumatized on a live podcast.
Oh, absolutely. I think we should just dive in. They're a little greasy, but that's okay. Well, I mean, it's fried mozzarella.
What else can we expect?
It's going to be greasy.
I'm going with the ooh, that crunch! Okay, I'm going in with the sauce.
Oh, it's good. It's really salty, but, I mean, that's a given. It's really good.
I'm not mad about this at all.
I
wish the cheese were a little stringier.
But it's because it's, like, kind of cooled down.
Yeah.
I think if it was, like, fresh, it would be, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, true.
Stringier.
All my problems with the cheese are my own fault, I guess. But they're really crunchy, too, which I love. I love, like... And it seems like they're almost, like, hand-breaded? Maybe not hand-breaded, but they're not, like, the ones that come frozen, you know what I'm talking about? Like, the ones you get at, like, Applebee's.
These are, like, it looks like they honestly took a big, giant... Like, they went to the store, got a big thing of mozzarella cheese, and just fried the whole thing. Like, the whole, like, container of mozzarella cheese. I'm gonna dip it in the sauce. It's just good old marinara sauce, I think, right? Yeah.
Please don't mind the loud crunching.
Some people like that. It's like ASMR, right? Let us know in the comments if our crunching relaxes you.
Or it stresses you out.
Or completely stresses you out.
I feel like that would stress me out.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not the one listening.
That's why we're making it. That's why we're torturing everyone with it instead.
Yeah.
So these are really good.
Yeah, I would get these again.
I would order these again. Very delicious.
I would like them hot because I want to see if the cheese is stringy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm curious.
It's just unfortunate we can't... I mean, I guess we could do a podcast at the restaurants, but that would be a little disrupt. I would be embarrassed. I don't know.
Oh, my God.
I would totally be
I would be mortified.
I'm like, oh, my God. I'd be, like, whispering into the microphone, like, I can't do this in public, you know?
Also, there'd be so much, like, background noise, and then, like, the interactions with, like, the waiters
oh my
and
God,
stuff.
I
know. Like,
It's like, shut up, we're doing a podcast. They're like, do you need anything? Be quiet.
Yeah.
We're filming our podcast. Like,
you are not a friend. You are not a friend of the pod.
I would literally, like, that is just, I could never.
Everyone's a friend of the pod, I think.
Oh, yeah, everyone, oh my God, yeah, like, let us know in the comments if you want to be a friend of the pod.
Unless you're an enemy of the pod, you just don't know
self-declared enemies of the pod.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
As we continue this, more enemies of the pods will be announced and declared.
Oh my God.
Declared.
Well, I guess we kind of left off. We have to get back on track, okay? We kind of started talking when we were finishing our big mouth bites about deal breakers and like relationships. So I want to talk about deal breakers in relationships and friendships, and like if you have any personally, if either stick out to you first, like friendship or relationship, like do you have anything that is like jumping out at you?
So in a relationship, this is so basic, and I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Sorry, listeners.
No, it's fine.
I need a guy who's funny. Like, I can't not laugh. Like, that's just a big thing for me. I'm trying to think of what else. Like you said, I'm not super into, like, the really needy, clingy.
Mm-hmm. Me neither, girl.
That kind of just puts me off. In a friendship, I've never really thought about that.
Let's put this in a different question form, I guess. Do you hold your friends, your platonic friends, to a higher or a lower standard than your romantic partners? I think that's an interesting question. I'm going to say right off the bat that I hold my friends to a higher standard than romantic partners.
Yeah.
I expect more from my friends. Like, I expect boys to disappoint me. I don't expect my girls to.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to be there for me through thick and thin. Like, I definitely... Because I mean... This might sound bad. I don't mean this in a bad way. I'm not like a bad girlfriend, like when I'm like dating somebody.
Yeah.
But I definitely am a better friend to my friends, my platonic friends, than I am. Like if I had to choose between my friends or a boyfriend, like I'm gonna choose my friends. 10 times out of 10 times.
And I also think with like your friends, it's like the people you are like consistently choosing to surround yourself with, like in the sense that like boys will come and go, but with your friends it's like you kind of need that like security, because it happens all the time. Someone gets a boyfriend and then they kind of drop their friends, and I think everyone's guilty of this, and I think
especially in like your first relationship.
Yes, and I think it kind of just depends on like if you kind of come back around, but I think too often people are so willing to like bank everything on this boyfriend or whatever.
Yeah, I know, I totally agree with that.
And then it comes back to bite them in the ass, because it's like, you have no friends. You need friends outside of your partner.
Yes, I'm such a big proponent, and we talked about this before, of my friends are my friends. Like, I don't want to have the same friends as my boyfriend, because then if you break up, it gets so messy, and I've seen this happen with people I know.
Yeah, like who gets who in the divorce.
All the friends were in a friend group, but they were all couples, and then the couples start breaking up and people start cheating, and it's just like a mess. So I'm like, I need my own friends. Like, my friends, they're mine. Your friends are yours.
Yeah, and
we can have mutual friends. That's totally fine, but I need my own people. Like,
that
my
way
own
it's more of a clean
system.
break. But that also begs the question, like, are you normally friends with people before you start dating them?
Honestly, I'm guilty of that. I definitely am, because like I said, I went to an all-girls high school, so I don't know that many guys.
Yeah.
So I have guy friends who I'm like, they're my friends. Like, I'm not going to date them. They're my friends.
Yeah.
But there's other people, like, when I do meet a guy, there are times where I've gotten to the point where I know now, like, I need to start off as just friends. But when I was younger, like late high school, early college, where I'd meet a guy and we would just start dating right away, and then it didn't end well, because who knew? We weren't compatible. Haha. Like, it's like you don't even get to know these people before. I think you really do need to build like a foundation as a friends, because they always say like the most statistically successful like marriages and relationships long term, like they started off as friends, or they consider each other friends first.
Okay, I'm kind of the opposite.
Okay, that's fine.
I think it, like, the problem with, I think, with dating your friends is, like, you already have an idea of them, and you almost, like, in your head built them up as a partner.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think knowing them as a person and knowing them as a friend, and then trying to, like, realize what they'd be like as a partner, I feel like it's hard. Because you have certain ideas about them that you can't really, like, get out of your head.
No, that's true. That's actually a good point. I didn't even think of that.
And I do think it's possible. I think it's easier for a partner to become a friend than a friend to become a partner.
Yeah. No, why does that make sense? Now you're, like, converting me. I feel like I take a long time to warm up to people, though.
Okay.
So I kind of, it's just naturally with me, like, it is like a friendship progression thing. Like, I'm just kind of, like, I tell guys, I'm like, I have to get to know you, like, before I commit to anything, just because I just can't, I need to get to know you, how you behave in certain situations. Like, how do you treat the wait staff? How do you act, like, I don't know, towards your family? Like, things like that. I need to see these interactions before I can commit.
Yeah.
Because I think they're important.
I think that's important too. For me, I think I can find that out, like, before, like, when you're in the talking state. Like, for me personally, because I feel like I also feel like with friends, you just, like, know them a little too well before you go into it.
But here's the thing: if you're in the talking stage, aren't you, like, friends though? You're just not calling it friends. But it's more like friends with the intention of it's like a trial run. Like, are we dating? Okay, yeah. Because no, I see that.
For the most part, you're probably not going to be friends with this person if it's a failed talking stage.
But why not? I guess if there's hard feelings, you know, that wouldn't work out. But in my opinion, I'm like, hey, like, there have been times where if I'm like, hey, where we've mutually reached the decision, we're like, you know, we're not compatibles. Like, I don't see us being boyfriend, girlfriend, but I enjoy your company, or I like talking to you. Like, we could still hang around each other.
Yeah, well, can you be friends with an ex?
See, no. I don't think you can be friends with an ex.
Okay.
Because, in my opinion, you fired me from being your girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like, if you wanted me in your life, why would you break up with me? Or, like, if you broke up with that person, again, why would you want to hang out with them? You were already hanging out with them before.
Well, could you apply the same logic of, like, we're just not compatible, but I still want you in my life? Do you think you could separate those two things?
Yes, because if you were just talking, it didn't necessarily get that serious. Whereas if you're, like, dating someone, you're, like, exes, like, things might have gotten more carried away.
Yeah,
you're, like,
I get
more
that.
invested.
I think you can be friends with an ex, but almost, like, at an arm's length, kind of, like, you have to have that boundary of, like, we're not a couple anymore, so we can't act like we're in a couple. Yeah. Like, we're still in our relationship. We can't do, like, super coupley things.
Yeah.
But I think you can, like, reach out to an ex when the time is right, and
I think you can
have some sort of friendly. I think you guys can be friendly.
Yeah, you can be friendly, but here's the thing: is, like, at this point in life, it's different for other people. So, like, if you have kids together, yeah, you have to talk. If you have property or a business together, you have to talk. But at this point, I'm 21. Like, I don't really have any strings attached to you. True. I have lots of other friends. You know what I mean? I have friends who I haven't had feelings for. Like, I don't have,
that's true.
I don't have these pining residual feelings for, like, Caitlin. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But, like, so it's like, why do I need you around if I have my other friends who are being amazing friends?
Yeah, and it's not going to complicate
things.
There's
no not neutral feelings there. Whereas with an ex, I feel like it's never truly neutral. Somebody got burned. Yeah. Somebody did. Somebody's cared a little more. They're a little bit more upset about the breakup.
That's true. I feel like you can never reach that level of, like, neutrality.
And I think friendship is pretty neutral, or it should be anyway. So I guess that goes to, like, deal breakers and friendships, like, if there's, like, jealousy, obviously, that's a huge thing.
Oh my god, yeah. Like, I hate feeling like my friends are putting me under, like, a microscope and, like, I'm being, like, criticized, kind of. Like, watched closely. Like, I hate when I feel like people are, like, waiting for me to mess up. I hate that. And I think especially in, like, female friendships, that's almost, like, not the expectation, but I think too often, like, people expect girls to be catty. Yeah. And I do feel like there needs to be, like, this idea of, like, we have to stop being catty towards each other so people stop assuming that girls are catty and that, like, female friendships, like, can't exist without some element of, like, jealousy. Mm-hmm. But that's just my perspective.
Yeah. I guess, like, for me, the biggest thing is, like, reciprocating my friendship. Because, like I said, I go out of my way for my friends so much before, like, because I was an only child for many years until, like, I'm a lot older than my sister. And so my friends were like my sisters growing up. Like my sister was, even when I was in middle school and stuff, like she was like a baby. You know what I mean? Like she was a toddler.
It's very different.
So it was different. It was more like I was taking care of her. Like we weren't able to connect and grow up and experience the same things together. So my friends are like my sisters, especially from grade school, and we still talk. And we were growing up together and experiencing these things. So it's like when you're not reciprocating and looking at me like a sister, like that's when I end things. Like I said earlier, how I treat I hold my friends to a higher standard because I am such a good friend and I like pride myself on that. But like I had a friendship who, it's interesting because, and I was talking about this with our other mutual friend. I had a friendship over the summer, kind of collapsed for lack of better words. But I just felt like things, you know, weren't being reciprocated and it wasn't like such a mutual friendship anyway. It's okay. You can crunch your fried mozzarella, Brooke. She's eating mozzarella sticks. I mean, you can crunch.
I went back. I'm crunching.
You can crunch. It's all good. But basically, like, I just felt like things weren't being reciprocated, but I didn't communicate that, which was on me. Yeah. And I kind of let it hit ahead, and I freaked out, and then we weren't talking, and we still, like, aren't friends. But I had a mutual friend of us, the both of us, me and the girl who aren't friends anymore. She was like, you know, you keep these crappy guys around for X amount of months and whatever, but then you're going to cut one of your best friends off because you don't think she was being good to you and reciprocating your friendship. And she's like, not that it's wrong for you to feel that way, but why do you keep these guys around if you're going to, like, you know, be so harsh on your friends? And she definitely, it, like, opened my eyes a little bit. I was like, you know, that is a point. But also, it's like, I do hold my friends to a higher standard. You know what I mean? Like, I expect guys to kind of be crappy at times, and like when you're dating, I don't expect my friends to not reciprocate.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
I think it's also the thing of like you said, you have the expectation of guys being crappy, but I try and tend to like keep those people out of my life, whether it's like more crunch,
crunching,
whether it's like a friend or a guy. Like I just feel like for me, I feel like I can't entertain these people anymore, and like even like crappy guys, like I'm just like, this isn't gonna work out. And I feel like back in my younger years, I feel like I was a lot more forgiving of people like being shitty. Yeah. And I feel like I've definitely moved past that of just like, I need to create these boundaries, like not because like like not because of you personally, but I just don't like the behavior and I'm like over it. So I think I'm just at this point where I'm trying to be a little more firm. So I think I do hold my friends to a higher standard, but I think with guys, I do try and hold them to a little bit of a standard.
Should. I'm not saying I was right.
Yeah.
Don't worry. I'm not saying I was right at all. I think my friend actually raised a really interesting point. I'm like, you know, why do I take crap like that from guys but not my friends? Like, why am I harsher on my friends, you know?
Yeah, but I do think it comes with the idea of like, you expect your friends to stick around.
It's true. It's like I love my friends more.
Yeah,
I do. Like, I'm just more like, I care about my friends more, and I will say, I tell new guys when they come around to date me and whatever, I'm like, look, if my there's been times where I did it like a couple weeks ago. I was supposed to go out with a guy one night, but my best friend from high school was back from her college, Penn State, which is like 4 hours away from us. And she was going back the next day, and I kind of canceled on him. And I was like, you know, I'm going out with my friends. Like, sorry. And I didn't even feel bad about it. But that's just me. And I feel like there's a lot of girls who, they would disagree with me on that, probably. But, you know, that's just how I am.
Well, could you date someone your friends don't like? I'm assuming no. Well.
But I have.
Yeah. And also, I think it's interesting, like, how like the truth comes out when you like break up with someone.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then suddenly your friends are like, I never liked him.
Yeah,
and that's not about anyone in particular. And I think it's just like a common thing.
It is. No, because like, it's like you don't want to, you know, sometimes it makes it worse. Like if you tell your friends while they're dating, because obviously you have your friend's best interest, but you don't want to come at your friend and be like, your boyfriend's this and blah, blah, and he's the worst, or your girlfriend's this and she's the worst.
Because then you make your friends feel stupid.
You do, and also they might dig their heels in deeper and be like, no, but I love them, like not you as much as them, and they're my person and they're my soulmate, and it's like then they turn on you and it could get ugly. So you just kind of, for me, I let things unfold. I'm like, you know what, we're big girls, unless of course it's like extreme, but that's
toxic abuse, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I am a proponent of, like, letting people do what they have to do and, like, figure things out themselves.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you can only tell someone something so many times, and it's, like, for me, that getting that criticism of, like, I don't like this person that you surround yourself with, it's, like, that makes me feel stupid. Because then it's like, I already dedicated this much time, and it's like, and if I keep dedicating time to it, then I feel stupid. And I know, because I know that, like, people are not into him the way I am.
I also think you have to be gentle even right after the breakup, because, like, I went through a breakup probably, like, a year ago, something like that. And my friends, they meant well. They really did. They meant well. They were trying to make me feel better by kind of, like, cutting him down, sort of.
Yeah.
But it was making me feel worse.
Yes.
Because I'm like, if you knew all along that he was the worst, or that he wasn't so good for me, or whatever, then why would you let me do it?
And it's a person you just loved for so long. It's like, the love doesn't go away as soon as you guys break up. So I think that's another element, too.
It's like a defensive thing, almost. You're like, don't say that about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even though you just broke up.
Yeah, I don't like the attitude of, like, he ain't shit. Like, it's like...
That's not... I agree.
You can eventually ease into that attitude.
Yeah.
But as soon as it happens, like, support your friends rather than, like, tearing down the partner.
Yeah.
I think that's more important, like, as soon as, like, the breakup happens.
Like, Happiness by Taylor Swift. It's a great song. It's, like, the... great song, but it's very, like... I think it's, like... It has, like, the right attitude about, like, a breakup. Like, I see it for what it is. We weren't meant for each other. But it doesn't mean you're a bad person. You just were a bad person for me.
Yes.
That's probably the best outlook you could have after a breakup, in my opinion.
Yes, you always... Unless it's a really bad situation.
Obviously, like, the extreme cases.
But you always get something out of a relationship, whether it's...
Even if you learned.
Yes.
Even if
you
it's
always
just
get something,
it's true.
And that's the most important thing you can do, is just take these experiences and learn. Whether it's the worst experience of your entire life, you learn something.
I learned that Chili's has really good mozzarella sticks.
I also
because I kept
fire
munching it. Everything has been so good.
God,
like, why do we love Chili's as much as we do? We have, like, this irrational love for Chili's right now.
What?
Is it rational, though? I think it's rational.
I think it's
I don't think it is irrational.
I think Chili's is worth the hype.
I really do. I'm really thoroughly enjoying this meal. So we are going to move on to our next food. So tune in next episode to listen to us try the bacon and ranch quesadillas and the famous baby back ribs from Chili's. And you can listen to us rank the rest of the chili foods to see how everything fell into its final standings.
Part 2, it's getting even sillier. Tune in.
For Take It To Go.